to WE's final ban. What are they going to look to take away? Tristana is still up and available. Could look just towards that, and yet Triple AD ban.
That's the easy one. Are we in a world where we're first picking Renekton? Is that a thing? Okay, the Zyra for Hacker was really good. I like the Strangle Thorns. His early pressure was very impactful, and it's also a good pick for Yanxiang as well, so you want to make sure that he doesn't have that pick available to him. This does mean that you're likely getting the Leona locked in against you again, which is also something which WE... That wasn't the problem with WE's comp. They ended up really putting Hacker's Flash on permanent cooldown with that, so it wouldn't surprise me to see that one locked in alongside that Zeri, which is the first pick for WE.
Yeah, I feel like this probably just is going to be the Leona Zeri angle, and then see what the answer is out from Ultra Prime. Ultra Prime could, on the other hand, decide to change things up, as actually no, Wayward's going to take himself the Renekton this time, so the matchup gets shifted around a little bit, and now what is the answer here from Ultra Prime?
Right. So you already have your AP in the jungle. You don't need to go towards that cannon, which can be a lane bully. So it wouldn't surprise me to see QingTian just take the K'Sante and say, right, you win lane, I'll affect those team fights. Just kind of eat the bad lane matchup, try and outvalue him. Later into the game, Yuekai is going to get himself that Corki, means that it's not unlikely to see a Lucian locked in for FoFo as that third pick from WE. But what are Ultra Prime going to do before that comes through? They could lock in the Leona, they could lock in a Choice AD carry as well. The Zeri is a flex pick for WE, so they potentially could have locked in their AD carry or their mid laner already. This K'Sante, already highlighted that one, goes into the Renekton matchup.
Yeah, going to pick up that K'Sante there. This means now moving over to WE. Probably looking towards the jungle pool, though the jungle pool's not overly pinched yet. So yeah, with the brand up and available, this could just be that answer. Locks that AP onto the map here for the side of WE as well, and now moving into ban phases. I'm interested to see what the bans are going to be. I feel like it's probably just going to be ADs from the side of WE and then mids from the side of Ultra Prime, but they could also look towards things like this Leona, the Nautilus, engage supports that could potentially enable their ADCs.
Yeah, there's Leona, Nautilus, Rel, all up and available. Might think there are too many of them available to effectively ban out, but I think as WE, you could potentially be looking to lock a support on 4, flex that Zeri between mid and AD carry, as we saw in that first game. It's completely fine as the Corki, you can play that Zeri there. WE ban away that Ziggs for Doggo, though. Ultra Prime, big combo-reliant team, so the Ziggs is one of the better combo players. Champions from bot lane, doesn't surprise me to see that one taken away. There are many things I think you could ban away here. The Xayah, yes, Abel has played it. I just don't think I would ban it. That's a little bit out of left field for me.
Yeah, that is a bizarre ban. There's still a fair few ADCs left up.
Look,
and
it's
available.
not Swarm. We don't have to play Xayah. It's not Swarm. Quick, get projectile count.
It's pickup radius for Xayah, actually.
Yes, you say that. Look, okay, we'll talk about it some other time. All the same, Dragon, I'm going to get a load of these bot laners banned away as we will continue to... Man, I've played so much that game recently. Don't get
We
me
both
started.
have brain rot for Swarm at the moment, by the way. This is... There's the Aphelios. Okay, that's a more understandable ban.
That one. Yeah. It allows Abel to be at the center of the team comp, and that's the big thing, where Abel would just have all the resources put into him. He's at the center of this nucleus, and it means that you just get to play around him very, very easily. This pick, Leona, we see it in almost every draft in the LPL. Very, very powerful as a tank. Has got good laning phase options, and very, very good at consistent engage. Also means now that you have that kind of just Zyra flash button on cooldown, where you just keep pinging that ultimate onto the Zyra and seeing if you can really upset them in the mid and late game. As soon as Zyra doesn't have that flash, makes it much easier for Zeri, for Renekton to get on top of them. Ultra Prime, they're considering their bot lane options now. They're hovering over that Senna, which could unlock something much more frontliney, but they choose not to go towards that. They go towards something more aggressive in the bot side. The Kalista locked in. It is a low-range team from WE as it stands. They have the brand and they have the Renekton, so it's going to be the Kalista and not a bot lane domination locked in for Ultra Prime. I mean, if Hacker's going to clear in 2 minutes 54 and head towards bot lane, yeah, having a Kalista Renata waiting for you could be very important to snowball that bot side of the map with a real good kill lane in that bot side of the map.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking more like a Fresh or something, because you are still relatively lacking on engage. Now, the good thing is W are probably going to come towards you, which then means you can line up the hostile takeover, and you can kind of play around the fight. So for me, this looks like Ultra Prime want to be playing a game where they want to be engaged onto and then turn the engage of the Stranglethorns with the hostile takeover and just the Corki Callista damage between the pair of them. WE though, I mean, your only real engage is that Leona, and then you have like Renekton flanks. So I don't think they've given themselves as many tools as they did in the previous game.
Yeah, and also they have themselves a series of quite dangerous lanes potentially to navigate. Now, I think mid and top lane are fine, but they are less fine if bot lane gets blown out. Now, if you have Zyra ganking the Kalista Renata, which is one of the most lane-dominant duos we have ever seen in League of Legends, this duo has done unspeakable things for a number of years at this point. If you get Zyra ganking that lane, they hold down bot lane, and suddenly then you have them rolling across the map. Everyone suffers. So this early game for me is about, can Ultra Prime smash this early game? Rather than just stabilize the early game, which we've asked for them before, we need Doggo and Niket to get onto the board with Hacker supporting them, get push in bot lane, and either deny Abel and Mark so much CS or just kill them so much that they can't play the game and it affects the rest of the map. WE, they need to survive that first and then get Leona pinging flashes off of whoever they can and look for those big engages. Give some space for the huge damage of the Brand and the double AD carries to do their work. Going into the second game here, Ultra Prime 1-0 up. Somewhat unexpectedly, but well-deserved, as WE in their home arena try and take things back to even. Let's see how the crowd feel about it.
Still a little bit louder for WE, I think.
Now, it is the home arena, in fairness.
It is the home arena. Yeah, you are right, to be fair. To be fair.
There are 4 teams with home arenas. We have WE in Xi'an, we have LNG in Suzhou, we have NIP in Shenzhen, and then we have JDG in Beijing as well. We have had a couple of other teams have home arenas before, but they don't always hold on to them for long periods of time. Well, they hold on for long periods of time, but they don't always hold on to them for forever. It's part of how we in the LPL organize the groups as well, because each of the teams with the home arenas in the group stage before this stage and the Rumble stage, all of them will be split apart into different groups, so they didn't have to like play the other teams. They got to play their own home arena as much. WE going for level 1 invade. Important stuff. They're just disrupting the Zyra first camp clear. Means that they don't get to use that as seeds. Means that they can't also path cleanly towards the bot side of the map either. So this is a good level 1 from WE to potentially give some extra breathing room to Abel and Mark, because they know that
Are they map swapping?
And you're absolutely right. They're in fact, this is WE saying, okay, we're just not just disrupting the Zyra clear. We are getting away from the Kalista Renata entirely. They will have themselves an empty lane for now, but we'll lane swap, slow down Hacker, and hopefully get Abel and Mark to survive.
That is very bizarre. It's been a hot minute since I've seen a map swap as QingTian.
Yeah.
Wayward's just helping them go for the clear, and QingTian there's 4 people on this side of the map, and he is level 1 on Cassante. He just has to kind of take the L here and wait for a wave to crash under his tower so he can get some gold.
One of the big changes we saw about lane swaps we saw them a lot of MSI and just before that, because it was a thing which have developed in the LPL playoffs. NIP and Draw, you can thank Draw for finding that one out in solo queue and rediscovering the tech. One of the big changes from that time to now, though, is the fact that when you share XP between teammates, you get slightly more XP. So now what that means is that Wayward, though he's level 1, he can try and soak up this wave. QingTian's going to soak up that W and try and make sure that he can get some damage reduction, but he does it too early, loses the mind game. Now he has no damage reduction, he'll die for free.
The ignite. That might be him in a little bit of danger. Goes in for the flash. They're trying to keep the damage on. Abel's taking tower shots. He goes down. 3 versus 1. I'll take that.
You absolutely do. It means Abel doesn't get that XP, doesn't get that farm, and now QingTian gets to go back towards this lane. He's getting solo XP, which means he's completely fine with this. Comes back with boots and a refill pot. QingTian, I thought he'd been outplayed, but he was the one that ends up getting that 1-for-1, teleports back in. Abel's going back towards bot lane now, but how the hell do you play as a Zeri without your Leona here when you're on the weak side of the map against the Kalista Renata?
Oh, they're trying to keep the pressure onto Abel. I don't think they are going to be able to do anything off that one. Now you're seeing Wayward bringing their whole team down, but just look at what's being lost. Like wave after wave after wave is crashing into the tower. Doggo already got 2 plates. The plate resistance is probably fallen off at this point now. And Abel, he's so behind off this play. This lane swap did not work in WE's favor. Doggo, 3 plates at 4 minutes.
And he can get himself, if he gets himself a recall now and gets himself back to some combat stats, this laning phase for Abel and Mark is looking real rough. Doggo, most affluent player in the game. Abel the least in less outside of those supports. Also, you know, top lane going completely fine. QingTian. Hacker's already down here as well. Potentially looking to land that root. Gets the slow instead. Good
instant cleanse. Instant cleanse on the handshake as well. But Abel out of lane already, losing way too much health, as we are seeing Yuekai actually losing a fight there versus FoFo, as expected. Lucian does win out early versus the Corki in this lane. And another wave lost by Abel. Potentially another play over to Doggo, though he didn't actually go for a reset, so I actually think this might be his reset opportunity.
Yeah, I think it is now, but the fact that Abel gets chunked out for 2/3 of his HP instead of dying doesn't exactly help his cause. He doesn't die, yes, but he's still away for another couple of minions to die towards that turret. Now, we can see that Wayward, who picked that Renekton, you know, we talked about this in the first game, but it's just a thing with all Renekton games, is that if you are picking this, you need to smash lane to the point where you can carry those mid-game fights. Now, QingTian, his teleports were good enough to make him have value on this champion. If Wayward is even or behind against a Cassandra, look, 200 gold up is not that much right now. That is not what you need from this champion. So, WE, they will have to rely on Wayward to be, once again, the gatekeeper top laner, who played so well in Spring against players that would struggle towards the bottom end of the standings. But as it stands right now, being down in XP, getting his recall stop there as well, it's not just bot lane which is an issue, it's top lane as well. Ultra Prime, somehow, they walk away with an insanely powerful early game when it was WE which initiated this lane swap and fumbled it.
Doggo already upgrading his boots as well, means he's getting so
flash.
many. Mark's going to have to go away, but no flash available. They're stacking it up. Doggo secures himself the kill. I mean, Ultra Prime. What's up, dog? He's absolutely taking them out.
I mean, yeah. WE, they just really overbolded that bot side. And I thought the saying was meant to be X marks the spot. It's now X marks the mark as he goes down again for all these bot lane kills. Hacker forced to flash out.
Maybe a little greedy there by Hacker. But Doggo and Niket are just going to get themselves in the bush. This is really brutal. Once again, a wave just being zoned off. They're losing more and more farm as they try to contest, but the handshake comes in. Niket able to send them back. And Abel's just losing so much farm.
Yeah. And also, it's Yuekai losing a lot of potential camps in his own jungle, too. He's up in farm right now, but one of the other things about... So, cast your mind back to spring 2022, where we had the Jinx Aphelios meta. We also saw Kalista Renata coming around that kind of time as well. And we saw exactly this style of gameplay. It's not always been the case. We did see it a lot in last year and then also into this spring as well, where you can play towards heavy lane domination, which doesn't always get kills on the enemy lane, but what it does is force them off tower, you go into the enemy jungle, you take the camps there, or at least force the enemy jungle to play respectfully towards bot side, and maybe even not even walk into the bot side of their map. You need to do this, because if you don't get ahead with these lane dominant duos, you end up losing a lot of what you're picking them for. But Ultra Prime, because they ended up clutching out the lane swap with how QingTian got that level 1 outplay, which is so important because it's destabilized the rest of the map. And it means that WE was slow towards this bot side, slow to pick up the XP. And if you give a slight advantage over to a duo that are already killing you from even, it gets worse from there. You are going to get some top side camps available for Yuekai. He's going to get himself those grubs. He's fine with that. But the fact that they have to just leave well alone this bot lane is not what they would have liked from this early game.
Yeah, and again, another wave crashes, another wave lost to Abel. Doggo going to proxy this, make sure the wave goes down as much as possible. Should actually be able to finish this tower up with plates as well.
We should become surfing commentators the way we're watching these waves. I feel like that'd be a good use of our time. You know, I'm just going to sit here, go through the sets, see how they ride the curl.
I mean, this is a leisurely wave of waves coming in as now we're seeing QingTian trying to survive this one versus 4.
Wipe out!
I mean, that's not gonna happen. That's never gonna happen. But he did his work.
That's the damage which Brand can do. Damage can occasionally you sat there like, oh yes, I can use my flash, I can use my all out. Yes, this is the mode I've been waiting for. Another chance to outplay it. No, sadly not. So Yuekai goes to go towards that top side. WE, they have some advantages to go towards there. Doggo though, is making this issue a map-wide problem. This is another thing which we said right from draft, before any of the early game happened, is that Ultra Prime, if they win hard enough through bot lane, it becomes the whole map's problem. He's moving across to top lane now, but he's taken all of the plates in bot lane. More plates on the table now for them. There are still 2 plates up in the top side turret for Ultra Prime 2, which now Ultra Prime going to be able to defend very, very easily with Ultra Prime. it feels like WE now they are still scrambling to find an answer to this warhead of a Kalista just waltzing around the map. They cannot fight this champion right now.
Well, the biggest problem is WE, they opted into this lane swap, and it ultimately bit them in the back.
This is their own making.
Yeah, this is their own problem. I don't think they're going to be able to tower dive like they could on the Cassante, although Abel, he's getting absolutely brutalized by the Cassante down there, so he can't even catch waves when he's not in lane versus Doggo. Now Ultra Prime sending multiple people up towards the top side. We could see a potential dive coming in from this one. As
you have the bailout, you have a lot of power here. FoFo's coming, but I think he might be late.
Oh, the Stranglethorn combo with the hostile takeover. 2 kills. Goes to Yuekai immediately. Niket actually flushes the wall. Doggo comes over as well. FoFo taking so much damage as they secure a triple kill onto their Corki. You thought the Kalista was a problem. Now the Corki's a problem too.
Everything is a problem. Houston, we have a problem. The spaceship's falling apart. WE, this early game has been about worst case scenario for them. They end up opting into a lane swap, which works heavily against them, and they're just slow to the punch. I think ever since that play went wrong in that dive level 1 and Abel dies, he was slow to bot lane and it became everyone's issue. QingTian is likely dying again here. Yeah, he's oh no, he ends up blowing that flash. This is fine enough. I thought that maybe a little bit more damage would come out of the brand. I'm just used to brand damage being absurd. So he'll make it out on the other side. So insult to injury. They can't get anything on either side of the map. Niket throws in a fantastic wombo combo. Comboed in with his Desire as well. Uses the ult from the Kalista to reset things, goes forward, has the bailout as well, applies that onto Hacker. Doggo turns around onto Wayward to make sure the kill can come through in the nick of time as they get themselves a triple kill over to the Corki. Beautifully played.
Well, actually more in the Niket of time.
Aha! Yeah, I like it.
Anyway, that's just such a track.
I'm just going to let you sit with your crimes there.
No, please. We do see Up get them self-control of this top side. They're going to move over, try and get some more plates on to their Kalista, who is almost 2,000 gold up at 12 minutes. You got a 1,000 gold lead in your mid lane as well. It is an 800 gold differential on the bottom side, but I mean, it's a Cassante. He's going to be okay. He is about to be un-okay, though, because 3 people are coming down towards him. Does have that all out, doesn't have the flash. Actually, 4's coming in. Can he do anything here? He can't do anything. Trying to press the buttons, gets the knockback on the multiple members. Forces the flash, the frag goes down. No way! 1 versus 4.
He does it again, the 1v4 outplay. QingTian does it at level 1, he does it again at level 9, and WE are left wondering where it all went wrong. It went wrong as soon as they went towards that Cassante, and it continues to get worse as they focus onto him. Again, yes, Wayward is up 1,000 gold, but I'm just going to say it, he's behind in the moral victories. QingTian has been... let's take a moment to talk about QingTian. QingTian was, for large periods of summer, maybe the worst player in his role in top lane, because when he would be put behind, he would fall into a black hole of pressure, and he would fall out a huge amount of gold. I think that QingTian has put in an awful lot of legwork over the last week particularly, and over the Rumble stage, to be a player who is much more safe from behind and who is getting teamfight value and value from behind the game. This is not an easy thing to do. It is not the easiest skill set, but I want to really recognize that from QingTian as a player who has struggled with that so far in summer. Moments like this are ones which he wouldn't have been able to pull out before, so even though he's behind in gold, he is still impacting the game while the rest of his team is already succeeding. A lot of this game is through his outplays. It kind of set up the rest of the team for success, even though he is now behind in that individual gold.
Alright, well, we're now 12 plates into this game. About to make that 13, maybe more. As Mark is able to evade getting caught out. The handshake comes in. 13th plate picked up. FoFo can do nothing but watch at this point. This is a 14-plater with Ultra Prime.
So we're calling it a 14-plater? That's what we're calling it?
It might be a 15-plater. They got 30 seconds. They're doing that. Oh, this is rough. A flash did come out there from Niket as he tried to go for the handshake. Didn't quite make the mark. As just going to head over towards the Dragon now off the back of that one. Hacker, actually, he's just soloing that, so nice and easy. And Ultra Prime, it was closer in the last game. This game is very, very one-sided so far to them. And we thought this was a very WE-favored series.
And it has to be on paper. Ultra Prime, they looked lost in their last series. They looked so lost against an RNG in maybe the weakest point the team has ever seen. Yuekai's caught out in bot lane. I don't even know if he has mana for his Valkyrie. He's got a flash. He'll have to use it soon.
There's the flash, there's the Stranglethorns, there's the return damage onto Mark. He is sent packing and the rest of Ultra Prime are on the way up. This could get really nasty really quickly. QingTian has the all-out available to him. They do get the lockdown onto multiple members. They do get a Brando off in response though, but the hostile takeover by so much space. Doggo finally goes down and FoFo gets the shutdown in his pocket.
I mean, somehow W get the kill onto Doggo. Doggo, his positioning was really too far forward there. Gives the kill over because Yuekai does have damage. He's a brand. Of course he's going to have damage. And Doggo, despite being given over so much gold in this game, watch how he positions here because he ends up eating a ton of different brand poke. He uses the ward to hop forwards. There's a good route coming forwards there, but just look at the passive getting popped onto Doggo. Gets one brand passive, two brand passive. He gets one onto himself. Because the teammates pop around him, he gets burned down by 3 procs of brand passive because of him and his teammates' positioning overlapping the AoE.
Also, I said shutdown. Doggo actually wasn't worth that much gold. It was only a 350 guild
That's
gold
not
kill.
fair. That is not a fair.
That is, yeah, that is brutal. It's because Yuekai got all the gold, or got the triple kills in that fight topside.
That makes sense. Well, no, it doesn't make. Look,
it doesn't make sense at all. But thank you, Ryan.
I'm accepting what you're saying. I'm just saying what you're saying should not be the case. There are levels to this. I mean, he's still strong. Goes down for that first death of the game. It was a good combo by Yuekai, and it is a stark reminder to Ultra Prime that Brand still exists. Brand is still a champion with Leandries and can solo carry fights. Every chance that the bailout won't come through in time onto the key members. So. That might be a blueprint of how W win fights. The Ultra Prime pile into the wrong spot. They eat like 1,000,000 brand passives and they all die. That is a thing which can happen. Herald going over is going to accelerate. I mean, most of the time when we see a Herald go over, we talk about, we can break open the mid lane out of what? They're out of inner turrets to break. The outer turrets to break. They've got to go to the inner ones now. They're all so far ahead of the game. Use this Herald wherever the heck they want. They don't have the 6 grubs, which means that it's a little hard to kill some of those turrets in the middle late game. But they're absolutely fine with this Herald to just break open another area of the map. Maybe around the next Dragon's timer in the next 2 minutes, they can try and drop down that Herald and use it as a bit of a counterweight. You put it down in a lane and you force the enemy team to respond to it. And then you can use that to get better setup on the objective. But they are a complete luxury to do whatever they want with it. They've already taken down most of the turrets they need.
Get able to just about avoid and evade getting caught there. Both our dragons, both our souls this series have been Cloud Souls as well. Again, I honestly think Ultra Prime are happy with that. It gives you a little bit more kind of safety in your positioning. Doggo being a little bit quicker, always going to help him. Same for Yuekai there. And like you said in the last game, when you're playing this Zyra and you get that Cloud Soul and you just have all that extra base movement, it's harder. But yeah, they're looking to come in for a potential gank angle. Not going to find it as Niket does avoid getting caught out by Abel's zap.
Something which I think is fairly interesting here. We don't see the Celestial opposition on Niket, the support, and we see the Solstice Slay instead, which gives some limited movement speed options as well in some of the plays which you're working towards. I think that shows some of the mentality of Ultra Prime, which is, look, we have the bailout, we're so far ahead of the game, I don't need to go towards that defensive item with the Celestial opposition and be the first one into the fray like that. I'm going to be getting into position for those kill combos more easily. Here comes the teleport. Let's see if that skill combo comes through now.
Ultra Prime a little slow on their teleport, but Wayward gets handshakes backwards. The Stranglethorn connects onto Mark. Mark knocked up. They get himself the all-out as well. Mark on the run, but he has nowhere to go. Bopped back. And that's the second kill picked up, but oh wow, the brand damage is huge. Hacker's eating all of it. Doggo walked it in and almost got his jungle killed. Bad positioning there by Ultra Prime, and they may get punished heavily for this. Niket has the bailout. They do have that hostile takeover, re-teleport coming back in. This has to be really, really well played by Ultra Prime. It looks like they'll be able to get out. You can see Doggo with the empowered recall from that Herald from earlier, as he gets out nice and safe. Ultra Prime, while ahead, are definitely making mistakes.
Yeah, they're forgetting about Brand. Just hanging around the corner. Yuekai, the rookie coming in to Team WE, getting huge value out of this pick so far. In the last game as well, most of the game on that Sejuani was very, very powerful. You can see why he was brought up to this roster. His combo there, forcing Ultra Prime to very slowly retreat, means that even though the start of that fight went very poorly for them, it was not a good Renekton teleport, because Ultra Prime managed to spot it out and close him down so quickly. They managed to recover the scenario through a huge amount of burst damage and get themselves onto the objective board through those dragons. Yuekai's going to walk up with that Herald now behind him, and they're looking to take this mid lane in a turret. Wayward is on the flank, and you could look for a flash with his rage bar potentially being stacked up with that ult.
Yeah, Doggo's not there either, though, so it definitely looks like Ultra Prime are just looking to move away. This will buy them that tier 2 on the top side, though, so big injection of gold should go into Doggo's pocket off the back of that one. 2,000 gold up over Abel, and now Ultra Prime just turning their attention towards this tower. Demolish Pot goes down, and we are 19 minutes into the game, and every outer tower for WE has fallen.
Yeah, there's nothing outside their base. They have everything outside of that thin wall to the base surrounding that Nexus. Has gone. Ultra Prime get themselves a lot of gold. WE do get themselves that inner turret in trade, so they are trading something back, and I think that's about the best they could do in that scenario. So getting FoFo some gold definitely helps. This Lucian might be the cleanup damage which WE needs. One of the things which happened in that play, though, is that Doggo got gifted another tower of solo gold. He ends up getting himself that top lane inner turret, which is 700 and something odd gold, whatever, for himself. Means that he is going to be power farmed not just to 2 items, but to 3. Now, the thing about Kalista when you get to 3 items is that you get yourself that Terminus, and with the Rage Blade, you get yourself a lot of tankiness. What the observers were just highlighting is the fact that QingTian doesn't have teleport, he's pushing out bot lane. W were on top side, there was a chance they could go towards a Baron Rush, but I think they lose the 4v5 right now. Unless Bran gets, again, the massive combo up, they probably lose that. We haven't seen a fight with Doggo having those 2 items yet, and trust me, that's going to be a bloody one.
Yeah, it's a real difference maker once that's picked up. Sort of Ultra Prime, they did have the option potentially rush that Baron. They decided not to. We do see the flash getting burned there from both Doggo and Hacker on the bottom of your screen. So that will somewhat
it was Niket, not
dissuade
Doggo.
them.
It was Niket,
Oh,
not
it was
Doggo.
Niket.
That is quite important. Yeah, it's okay. I was just checking down at the cooldowns on the side. I was thinking, yeah, that looked like somewhat flash there. Yes, it was Niket, not Doggo. So at least Doggo has himself that cleanse flash, and given how important he is, if he had flash there, it would have been horrible.
Yeah, that could really be an issue. But Hacker not having flash is pretty big off the back of this. But now it is just a game of kind of playing for that vision and playing for control of the area. Okay, remember flashless, so just need to be somewhat careful when they're doing this vision clearing. Hacker will be able to pick up the crab, and this will just immediately cleanse the area of the vision. There it is, spotting all that wards out, and just now total domination for the side of Ultra Prime on vision.
Yeah. You know, sometimes we do have these step backs and talk about the larger changes to the game which have happened. The mid lane walls being, the walls across the map being changed. Abel trying to buy some space for Wayward to come in. Abel misses his ult just about, maybe. He has it still running. He hits it, but it's not enough. Now Wayward's isolated. There's
going to be Wayward getting himself flashed, but caught out. They got the pressure on the blade. Slow comes in. Doggo keeping that pressure up. Can't quite get the execute off the Stranglethorns. Come out a little bit too late there from the side of Ultra Prime, and both teams burning a little bit there. Not too much. Some teleports were used, though, from both QingTian and, well, it's actually just the top there for the side of up.
You know, the big thing lost is the Renekton flash. Renekton not having flash means it is so much harder for him to get onto that key target. Doggo DPSing down that Renekton, even for the few seconds he had in front of him, very close to killing him. WE, I think they are aware now. They're in a very difficult position. There's a minute until that Dragon. The Baron is already up. They're trying to push through mid lane to stop Ultra Prime having an easy access to one of these objectives. There is no flank teleport ward really for WE. They've not been allowed past the river. They've not been allowed past the river to get one of those flank teleport wards, so they'll have to walk themselves into position if they want to try and look for a big teleport flank, for a big flank without that teleport. They have to walk into Fog of War now. They don't get themselves that mid prior. They've lost all their vision control, and now Ultra Prime, they're happy to get themselves a reset off of this, knowing that Doggo has himself the Terminus. That DPS just got worse. That tankiness from Doggo just got a lot better too. The Terminus giving those stacking resists on hit. Gonna make it harder to take him down.
Well, WE finally able to clear some of that vision, but they haven't really been able to place much of their own vision because they've been constantly putting wards down just to get a little bit of information of what the hell's going on in that Baron pit. So while they clear some of the vision, they have to reset and restock on their own vision, and now the attention's probably going to move away from that Baron and towards that Dragon, which is spawning up in 10 seconds time. So with all of the resets coming in, the restock awards here from the side of Ultra Prime,
Yeah, there's a Baron start going off right now, though. So, yeah, W, they're calling the bluff. They're saying, okay, Dragon spawned, you're on reset. But the thing is, the Ultra Prime, they had themselves easy enough resets. Niket can delay this. They should see this going down. Guys, you need to check the Baron, though. Guys, this is still going down. They need to check.
Yeah, they don't. They still haven't been able to check it. It looks like Ultra Prime just completely unaware that this is going down. They're going to see Wayward incredibly low. He breaks away. Baron secured.
Guys?
Ultra Prime just kind of slept on that one. And that's all she wrote for that. WE, unless Abel makes a bad position here, just go completely unpunished.
What? But the whole thing that we were just talking about in the lead up to this is Ultra Prime managed to stop WE from going towards the topside jungle and pushing out mid lane so they can get themselves safe resets for Doggo. Maybe they overforced onto Doggo's reset to get that third item because it left them just not in a great position to check that Baron, but they still should have been able to walk up there. Niket could walk up completely fine. He could have put the bailout himself a worst case scenario or just get that cholesterol back out. They didn't see it with the... They see it going down.
Wait,
they see it with the Callista Sentinel. They see it with the Callista Sentinel. They just don't move. There wasn't elf vision at all. They knew it was going down. They just didn't react. They were asleep at the wheel.
That was very bizarre there by Ultra Prime. They've been playing so well in this game in particular, and that was the biggest fumble they've made. Now there's Crocodile in the bot lane. Wayward going to be a problem down there. WE pressuring as 4 in the mid lane. Are Ultra Prime going to be able to defend this tier 1? I don't think they really are, although they are going to get the knockback onto Mark and force him to flash away. Definitely slowing down that advanced FoFo, losing a lot of HP. Doggo, yeah, still very strong, still scary strong.
Doggo is still the strongest person on the map. That's a bit of a reminder of that. Now, problem is, though, Baron Power Play has already gotten just over 1,000 gold. They'll be able to get themselves maybe another turret off this too. WE are not that far behind in terms of raw gold. Now, where the gold is important. The Renekton's not going to be able to use it as much. Doggo, if he ever gets a chance to DPS, will pretty much just end this game. So, WE, they get themselves some gold in pocket. They manage to get themselves a bit more positioning on the map. Sadly, can't break that mid lane out of the turret. That would have been a godsend for them. Would have potentially allowed them to get more of those flanking teleport wards. They have one currently in red side jungle, so keep your eyes on that mini-map. And of course, with Wayward having teleport, that could be relevant. But yeah, the fact that the gold has now kind of closed now. It's 26, 27 minutes in. A 1,000 gold lead isn't that effective. That is not something which I would have expected out of this game.
The gold lead isn't that big between Doggo and Abel, and Abel has 2 levels on Doggo right now. So...
well, that's a really good point. Yeah, he's getting solo.
He's actually really strong and really ahead. Doggo needs to kind of play the catch-up game at this point. Because Abel's been able to solo farm and kind of play alone, while the whole team has kind of played for Doggo, which means all the experience has been split evenly across all of them. And I mean, Hacker's down a level, Yuekai's equal in level, but you know, when you're this far ahead, you'd expect your mid to be up.
True. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I hadn't realized about the AD carry experience or mentioned that one there. I just sort of assumed that Doggo would have been, because he got that solo top lane turret earlier. I thought, he would have got some solo XP. Yeah, no, they've been using it as a wrecking ball, but now the problem is, once you lose momentum on that wrecking ball, it's a heavy thing to keep moving again. Don't want to stall out too much. WE still trying to push down onto this mid lane turret, trying to get themselves as much damage here as possible. We are getting some resets through from Ultra Prime to get themselves potentially another item onto Yuekai on this base. WE, they have been able to push up across the map now. They have been able to get themselves some wards, which means that Wayward potentially could get himself a big teleport. There is a teleport ward in the deep side of blue jungle now as well, blue side jungle. So he has options to go across this if they want to start a fight. Realistically, though, the item in their design is this mid lane turret.
Looks like even with the Baron, they've not been able to crack this tower. It's low, but they haven't been able to crack it. Wayward somewhat struggling here as Niket gets the handshake off, gets called back by the Fates Cool, jumps in, throws down the ultimate, goes a little bit wide. Mark's eating a lot of damage from Doggo. Doggo's able to get it. They're chasing him forwards. They get the knock back in. There's going to be the steal. Abel's taken out. And up find themselves 2. They may look for a little bit more as Yuekai, with those home guards, is pressing forwards. There's a Crocodile on the bot lane, though, who has to be dealt with. They may just base race here.
Yeah, Yuekai assassinated Yangshe at the start of the place. There's 3 down. Without the brand, I don't think you can do anything. With so many people dead and with such a powerful Callista, you should be able to shred through these turrets. I think Ultra Prime, just as they ended up losing that Baron and losing a bit of control in this game, the Wrecking Ball swings back to life. Wayward looking to wave clear.
Yeah, he's just going to try and clear out the wave. Is able to successfully buy time for this game. Almost takes Hacker out with him. but ultimately does sacrifice his life, and that should just be the dragon secured for the enemy team. Ultra Prime going to be able to reset off the back of this one, clear out what they need, get vision control, and then head towards that dragon. Then Baron will be spawning up momentarily after that as well.
Yeah, Yuekai sat alone in this jungle as well, wondering if he can maybe assassinate someone. Yuekai 4-0-4. Remember, he got that early triple kill. It's his first kill. Since then, I would love to see a replay of what the hell happened between him and YangXian, because the Brand exploded. Brand, who had been winning a load of these fights for WE, taken off the board. We're going to get a replay of that now. There is 20 seconds still Dragon, so something can very much happen there. Hacker doesn't get stunned. The Q doesn't land onto Hacker. Potential assassination there. Ends up getting turned around by the jungle mid lane combo. And then this is what happens when you try and flash away from a K'Sante mid-ult animation. If he has pressed ults on you and you flash, you are still brought back to where he would have put you anyway. It's much like how Skada can do that as well, and the like. So, bit of a mistake there from Abel. Dragon is now up and alive. Ultra Prime looking to close out this series. That good fight has put them back into the lead. There is the flank teleport now. Wayward, one last gas. Dominus off cooldown just now.
It's their last chance to make it happen. The Solar Flare's already gone wide.
Ren stacks.
The Wayward's Dominus is about to wear out. There's going to be the Ren stack. There's going to be the soul secured for the side of Ultra Prime, and two major ultimates burn. Wayward, he's just about to lose it. Not really too much they can do. They dodge the Pillar of Flame as well. There's a massive wave bot lane. Ultra Prime could just move over towards that, and that's exactly going to be their game plan. WE, are they going to try and trade for a Baron?
I don't know if they can't. If they go towards Baron, they lose the game. That would be the Baron for the game. That would be a classic trade. WE, all the same, they're not going to be quick enough on their recalls to even defend themselves at an inhibitor. And now suddenly with super minions coming in through mid lane and a huge wave in bot lane, WE, they need to find a fight. The culling's going to help, but it's not going to help as much because QingTian tanks that one up. WE lose themselves an inhibitor and they lose themselves the Soul. They were already struggling to pin down some of these carries. It's just got that much harder with the Cloud Soul being locked in. Imagine K'Sante now running around with a Cloud Soul after he's ulted you. That is not an easy thing to get away from.
Yeah, that's going to be hard, but WE immediately move over towards the Baron. The teleport comes out, making sure the K'Sante rejoins into the fray. He's going to try and chase forward. Does get caught by the Brand Q. Is going to get caught by the Zenith Blade as well.
Oh,
but he just steals Mark underneath the tower. And that's another kill in the pocket of Doggo. Abel trying to dash away, is able to do so. Suddenly, Wayward finds Niket, but Niket is quite comfortably keeping the pressure up. Hacker flashes forward, puts down the Stranglethorns. The slows are there. In comes the Pokeball. Niket jumps forward, gets the ultimate onto two, but trades out. Abel's able to get one. He may live for a second. Wayward slices and dices forwards for the kill. But Yuekai, he has the damage. He has the power to push forward and take down the members standing in front of him. 3 members of Ultra Prime stand to the 2 of WE.
Yeah, Doggo goes a little bit too aggressive. Maybe thought he had the bailout. Gets caught by a Wayward Brand W. Not from Wayward at all, then. And sadly, for the side of WE, even with that opening shown for that Kalista going down, they can't walk away with the fight. Going back into the replay of this one, QingTian teleports back in, and WE think they've found themselves a pick with the Brand passive ticking down on him, and Mark just goes way too far. Puts himself next to a wall. Walls are not your friend next to K'Sante. And QingTian has himself the Cloud Soul at this point. Look how fast he is. Look how fast he is. He just gets to run all over the place. Wayward tries to find himself a pocket of vision, gets himself onto Niket, but he finds himself an angry Yuekai there, so he has to back off and use his flash. While all this is happening, most of the way that W win team fights is through Brand. I think that YangXian has an incredible damaging performance, gets that last W onto Doggo. That's what ends up winning the game, winning that like half of the team fight for them, and it makes this not a game-ending fight. The fact that YangXian gets so much damage down. Just Brand things, I guess.
Yeah, Brand proves and continues to be just so difficult to fight into. Time. Yeah, he is a champion. He is difficult to fight into. This game should not have been this close, and I really do think YangXian is the reason why. He's been playing so well on this Brand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that the reason why it would... Hang on, they just missed that one. Well, luckily there's no teleport for Wayward right now to abuse that one, but just because this could be a game-ending push, I really, again, want to praise QingTian, that level 1 outplay, the towers, the outplays under tower, and then plays like that in the team fight as well. QingTian, even though he is the one person who's been put behind on Ultra Prime, he bore that burden for his team to succeed. I think that regardless of what happens in the rest of the game, QingTian, for me, has been the MVP for Ultra Prime, considering how much he struggled in the summer. It's great to see the growth from him as a player. He had a difficult year in 2023 on top esports. He came onto Ultra Prime, a team with low expectations, and in this game at least, he has shown a lot of growth And a lot of potential here for Ultra Prime to work around.
Yeah, it has been a massive, massive improvement from him, and he played this game super, super well. Inhibitors are crumbling here. The Baron from Ultra Prime probably just being the final nail in the coffin for the side of WE is Wayward just making his way out. They catch 2 with the hostile takeover as well. Does look like Abel's trying to do his best to save, but he flashes forward, gets himself the steal as well. Double kill, picked up onto Gasante, knocked back into the pocket of Yuekai. He secures himself a double kill, and that is it. Ultra Prime 2-0 WE.
Someone give QingTian a medal. That last fight gets everything done, and even as he dies, gets that last Q3 as a salute as he heads back towards the fountain. Ultra Prime, a 2-0 over WE is not what I expected coming into this matchup, but Ultra Prime maybe finally shaking off some of the shackles of their lower performance here in the Rumble stage. We knew that this team has had potential. The start of their groups, some of the one series that they ended up winning here in the Rumble stage so far as well, showed good promise for this team with Hacker on the AP junglers, with their ability to very, very creatively team fight around their combos has been very impressive. We just haven't seen it consistently throughout the series when it mattered. They do get themselves a win here. They bring themselves to 2 wins, which is now even with WE. They are now even in that series score. It means they're still in the conversation.